Hi, I'm Dennis Tyler, Mayor of Muncie, and I'd like to welcome you to this program regarding the Muncie Animal Shelter and some of the programs that we have put in place since the first of the year. Please take the time, if you have it, to stop out at the animal shelter and visit with Phil Peckinpah, the animal shelter superintendent, and look at the animals that they have available for adoption and that, and see if there's something that you might be able to provide to them to maybe help adopt an animal, or you know somebody that may want to adopt an animal. But we're very proud of the success that we've been able to put in place since the first of the year to lower the euthanasia rate for our animals here in Muncie. We're extremely excited about the programs that we're bringing forward, and we believe the public will too as they learn through the program that Phil will be presenting to you.
My name is Phil Peckinpah, and I'm the City of Muncie Animal Shelter Superintendent. The Muncie Animal Shelter is open on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 12 to 3 p.m. We're open for adoptions during those days. The main purpose of the Muncie Animal Shelter is to control the stray and overpopulation of animals that are running at large throughout the city of Muncie. We also take in own pets from people who can't afford to keep their pets any longer, or for some reason can't keep them, whatever that may be. We take in approximately 1,200 animals a year. Last year, about 50% of those animals were adopted or placed into other rescues, and the other 50% unfortunately were euthanized. It's a goal this year, and it's a goal that we've been able to fulfill so far, is to highly decrease the number of animals that we're euthanizing. We've been able, in the month of January, we literally cut the number in half of what they did last year as far as euthanasia, and we were able to save over 80% of the animals that came in through the doors. In the month of February, we are actually able to save 90% of the animals. So we're making great strides in improving the quality of service that we're giving the city of Muncie. Also, the hours, we're expanding our hours, and we now have 24/7, 365 days a year coverage for animal control. There's always an on-call animal control officer that will respond for any situation, whether it's a barking dog, a dog running at large, whatever the situation may be. Anytime, day or night, there's always an animal control officer that will respond. So we're really trying to put the people first and make sure that this service is accessible to the entire community 24/7, 365. The staff of the Muncie Animal Shelter is actually very small. There's myself, another full-time employee, and there are 5 part-time employees. We have two of those 5 part-time employees are drivers who they clean in the morning, they clean all the kennels and where the cats are in the morning, and then the rest of the day their responsibilities are going out, responding to calls, and picking up strays. They also act as on-call officers on a 5-day rotation, one 5 days on, one 5 days off. There is a full-time animal cruelty investigator, so for cases, any type of animal cruelty case, he investigates those along with myself. And then the other 3 part-time employees are just animal caretakers, and one acts as an animal caretaker / receptionist. So it's a very small staff, but they're very hardworking and very dedicated to their jobs, and I'm very proud of the work that they do. When there's a reason that somebody cannot keep an animal anymore, and they want to bring it to the Muncie Animal Shelter, we ask that you do that during our open hours, which are Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays from 10 to 5:30, and Saturdays from 12 to 3. We always try to explain to the owner, exactly what will happen to the animal, whether we think that the animal has a good potential for adoption, or whether we think that the animal will most likely be euthanized. And we try to be as honest with that person as possible, so that if they don't like what the outcome is going to be, that they can find an alternative source for the animal. And a lot of times we find that it's just behavioral reasons, or people can't afford something, and we can find options for those people. So we do everything that we can to assure that the animal is going to be in a stable environment, and we prefer that the animal stay in the home, but at the very last calls we will absolutely take the animal. And it's a simple process, and there's no fee that's involved, but we really haven't gotten that many owned pets that have come in. We mostly take in just stray animals. If you come to the Muncie Animal Shelter and would like to adopt a pet, it's a very simple process. We have a very brief application that you have to fill out in order to adopt a pet. You have to be 18 or older for starters. And every pet that's adopted from here is spayed or neutered. Females are $75 to adopt and males are $65 to adopt. With that, like I said, they're spayed or neutered and they're current on every shot except the rabies vaccination. And you're given a certificate to go to your vet within the first 7 days of the adoption for a free exam, and you have to get the rabies shot within the first 7 days. So it's a very simple process, and we encourage every member, every citizen of Muncie to come to Muncie Animal Shelter and see the animals that we have available for adoption and hopefully take one home. One service that the Muncie Animal Shelter provides that I think a lot of people don't know about is we do microchipping for pets. Microchips are a great way to prevent an animal from not coming home. If an animal ends up here or any other animal shelter for that matter, every animal shelter in the United States is equipped with a microchip scanner. A microchip is a very small size of a grain of rice little chip that's implanted in the back of a dog or a cat's neck, and that chip contains owner information, and we just wave this wand over the back of the dog or cat, and if the chip's present, we just call a phone number and then we get the owner's information, and it's a really simple and cheap way. It's only $30 to assure that, if your pet is lost, that it has a wonderful chance of coming back home. And every dog that leaves this shelter, whether it's a dog that we pick up as a stray or whether it's a dog that we adopt out, leaves the Muncie Animal Shelter with a chip. And we have a really good success rate of finding the owner of a dog or a cat that has a chip. We have a great relationship with the Muncie Police Department. We use them a lot for animal cruelty cases. We also work very, very well with the health department on situations where individuals have just become overwhelmed with the amount of pets that they have, and some things have gotten a little rough. But the police department has been a great friend to us, and we hope to build that relationship, and we work side by side, and it's really, really easy for us just to call up dispatch and have an officer meet us out at an address, and that's a relationship that me and Police Chief Stewart really look forward on building, and giving the community a little bit more trust in what we're doing and bringing a little bit more credibility to the Muncie Animal Shelter.
Muncie Police Department will respond to any emergencies that would arise throughout the day in dealing with animals. Obviously the time that the animal shelter isn't open or their personnel aren't available is probably the most critical time for us as far as animals. But we'll respond to those emergencies and deal with that emergency as quickly as possible.
Animal cruelty investigations is something that I am making a #1 priority. Anytime we get a call, no matter if it's just as simple as a dog that's left outside with no food or water, or if it's something as large as a dog fighting ring, we will investigate it in a very serious manner and take every step that we can to ensure that every pet in the city of Muncie is safe and protected, and really work with the police department in those investigations, and we will prosecute anybody that is cruel to an animal or neglecting an animal in the city of Muncie. It's something that we take very, very seriously.
Yes, we'll respond to any animal cruelty. We'll make the arrests that need to be made in that case and investigate it to its fullest. Dog fighting is the same thing. When we're called for those types of incidences, we'll investigate those to the end. People should call the Muncie Police Department at 747-4838 if it's an animal problem that's not an emergency. If it is an emergency, feel free to dial 911 and the police department will respond.
At the Muncie Animal Shelter, it's pretty potluck on the kind of animals that we're going to get. Mostly it's dogs and cats. A few weeks ago, though, we did get a call about a potbelly pig that was running loose in Millennium Place homes. We've gotten calls on chickens. In the past, I know not since I've been here, but in the past there's been alligators, lizards, iguanas. There's been a bird here, a cockatiel was here since I was here. So really, you know, any domesticated, and I guess I use the term domesticated animal roughly with alligators, but any animal that is a pet, we service. We do not do any wildlife service. We don't have, you know, the proper certification to handle wildlife, but we really handle any animal that's considered a pet. So just yesterday we found homes for 3 chickens that were just found running at large. So we do it all, every animal that you can imagine. I went to Muncie Central High School, and I went to Ball State University, and I've always had a great passion for pets and animal welfare. And I had the great opportunity of serving as the executive director at the Animal Rescue Fund here in Muncie for 3 years. And you know, I knew that animal control was a issue or a place that could be improved in the city of Muncie. And I felt, you know, with Mayor Tyler becoming the new mayor, and you know that there was going to be a lot of positive change throughout the city of Muncie, and that this was an area that, you know, I could bring a lot of positive change to the Muncie Animal Shelter. So I met with Mayor Tyler, you know, after the election, and I was lucky enough to be asked to serve in this position, and I'm very proud. And I think that I bring a lot of great qualities from what I learned at ARF, and you know, I'm just really excited about the opportunity, and I'm really looking forward to making a lot of great changes for not only the citizens but the animals and everyone involved with animal control here in the city of Muncie. Behind this door is where all the dogs that are available for adoption are. So we'll do a quick walkthrough, and you can see some of the dogs that we have available. These are the vehicles that our animal control officers use, and you'll probably see them cruising around your neighborhood at some point. I can kind of show you what they look like. Obviously, you know, driver goes up there. A small animal would go in this compartment. You know, it's just pretty basic. Keep our supplies. We keep dog food, jugs of water, nets, catch poles, any gloves, any equipment that we would need to, you know, help out any type of animal or to capture any animal are kept in these compartments. Compartment for larger dogs. So pretty basic. And also, one of the jobs of the Muncie Animal Shelter that people may not understand and might not know whose responsibility it is we do any pickup of any carcass that's on the side of the road or in the middle of the road. So if you ever see a carcass of a raccoon or, you know, whatever it may be on the street, give us a call and we'll come out and pick it up, no problem. And same thing with this truck, just a large area for the dogs. Another small compartment on this side. A lot of times we'll keep smaller crates on the inside too, because if it's a small puppy or something of that nature, that ride can be a little bumpy in the back, and we can make them a little bit more secure if we put them in a crate. And then this is just supplies, and I can kind of show you too. This is a catch pole. This is what we use to catch dogs, or sometimes we use it on cats, but it just maintains that we're safe and it keeps the dogs safe. We don't choke the dogs with it. I think that that's a kind of common misconception, but you just use it to kind of lasso the dog around the neck, and then we pull with a string to tighten it. And if the dog is aggressive or if the dog's a little scared, that keeps us safe and it keeps them safe as well. So this is, you know, standard equipment for any animal control officer. And this is the truck that our investigator drives. So if you see this truck coming, that means that somebody in your neighborhood is probably being investigated for animal cruelty or neglect. And he just has a simple box on the back, just in case he would ever have to pick up anything. Just really basic. So. That's a really neat map. This shows where the biggest areas of stray dog and cat overpopulation are in the city of Muncie. So it's pretty interesting. The darker areas are the areas of the city of Muncie where pet overpopulation is at its highest, and the lighter areas are where it's at its lowest. So you can see the campus area. There's kind of a highlight over by Washington Carver Elementary School. There's kind of a highlight, not as much on the north end and on the west side, but there are a lot of them out there. Yeah. This is the office. In the office, this is where all the animals have to come through and be processed. Any calls we get come through here, and Rhonda, our wonderful receptionist, answers the calls and dispatches out to our drivers. We got a couple drivers out right now on 2 or 3 calls. So, this is where all the court paperwork's done, all the adoption paperwork's done, everything that is involved with the functions of the shelter is done in this room.
Okay, well, hi. I am Rhonda at the Animal Shelter, and I run the adoption program. Well, we all do, but I do most of the paperwork for it. And this is Crystal. This is one of our kitties that's up for adoption. She's being shy. She's not normally. She must be camera shy. See if you can see her that way for a second. There we go. Crystal is only about a year old, maybe not quite. And she has already been spayed. So, and rabies shots, everything's done. Her health has been checked. So if you adopt her or any of our animals from here in the shelter, you're getting a lot of your medical expenses already paid for. So even though the fee itself, like a $65 for males or $75 for... So anyway, we try to get as much as the medical done for everybody so that there's not any hidden expenses in adoption. She is a female, so she's already been spayed. She has her claws. We don't declaw animals. If you want that done, that's going to be your expense. But she has a rabies shot, and she's current on all of her vaccinations. So for $75, you're getting about $250 worth of medical expenses already covered. So we think, that's very reasonable. That's the cheapest shelter price that we know of around here to get an animal with all that already done. And we just have a never-ending supply. There's always some cute kitties, short hair, long hair, and come here in a month or 2, we will just have kittens galore. So that's kind of our scoop on cats. We socialize them a lot. She's not normally this shy. I thought she would be one that was outgoing for you, but she's just going to play shy. So you get a good kitty from here. Come here. Here, there we go. Okay, here's one of our dogs. That's an affectionate dog. All right. Turn around so they can see you. Yeah. And we're getting them all spayed and neutered too. This dog has been done. And so it's ready for adoption. And it needs a home. And it needs somebody that wants to give it some attention. Right? Right? Yeah. And we have no idea what our mixed dogs are. You have to just kind of look at them and judge for yourself. We're figuring this dog's probably got lab in it and probably something else. She's, I mean, is very friendly, not always this hyper. When you first get them out of those kennels, they are ready to play and ready to be rowdy. So, you know, when you come and visit them at the shelter, it's best if you take them outside or into a hallway at least. Spend 10 or 15 minutes with them and just let them kind of get used to you and calm down before you judge their temperament a whole lot, because they're all awfully excited at first when they first get out. We microchip all of our animals. It is a little, microchip is about the size of a piece of a grain of rice. It just gets put in between their shoulder blades with a needle. They don't generally even know that you're doing it. They don't even feel it. And that is a device that then always allows, anytime the dog is lost or goes into a veterinary or another shelter, the microchip is just got a number on it, but the number then is attached to the owner's name and address, and so your dog, get your dog back lots quicker. And if it comes into a shelter and it's microchipped, unless you don't come and claim the dog for several days, you usually get it back with no charge or a very minimal charge. So it also will save you money in the long run. And this dog is just going to be ornery today, aren't you? You need to turn around and look at the camera. Show him your pretty face. There you go. There you go. Yes.
I guess one of the biggest policies that we've changed is, you know, before January 1st, and I think since January of 2000, there had been a policy in place that, you know, every pit bull, regardless of its temperament, every dog with a black spot on its tongue that would be euthanized immediately, just because, or after its 5-day holding period, just because of those two things. It had a black spot on its tongue or it was a pit bull. One of the things that, you know, we're taking pride in now is looking at each dog as an individual, and you know, making those assessments on a case-by-case basis. So we're not putting, you know, giant labels over one entire breed or one entire category of animal, and we're really looking at what animal we think would make a good fit for, you know, our adoption program, and you know, what wouldn't. So that's, you know, something that I'm really proud of that we've changed, and I think the community is, you know, would also be proud of that. In case of any type of major emergency that would ever happen in Delaware County or in the city of Muncie, you know, one thing that it's important to think about is your pets. And I think that we've seen examples of where people, you know, in the past, such as Hurricane Katrina, you know, last year with the tornadoes in Missouri, where people didn't really, you know, have a plan for their pets. Well, we're pretty fortunate in Muncie and Delaware County that we do have a plan. And we're actually pretty fortunate to be in the state of Indiana that we have a plan, because Indiana is one of the only states that has a, it's called a pet trailer, and PET is an acronym. And it's an emergency mobile animal shelter that is stationed in Indianapolis that will move to, you know, wherever city or town that there's an emergency, and it will locate in a safe area that people can bring their pets. And we're also fortunate enough to have an emergency shelter plan that's set up at the Delaware County Fairgrounds for that case here in Muncie and Delaware County. So, you know, if the emergency will arise, people will be given more information about where they can take their pets and then they can evacuate. But we are fortunate in Delaware County where we do have an emergency evacuation plan involving animals here in the city of Muncie and Delaware County. It's always a great idea to keep extra, you know, animal supplies, food, whatever that may be at your house, just in case there is an emergency, just as you would for yourself or any other member of your family. It's just always something to think about when you go to the grocery on those days when it's going to be a giant snowstorm or ice storm and you're buying up all the water and milk. Just make sure you buy some extra dog and cat food and things like that to take care of your pet as well. Stay tuned to Channel 60 for the community bulletin board to see pictures of some of the adoptable pets we have here at the Muncie Animal Shelter. We'll have those refreshed quite frequently, and you can also like us on Facebook and follow us and follow our activities, and also visit us on petfinder.com and see every animal that we have available for adoption, and hopefully you can find your new best friend today.
Okay. Again, I'm Dennis Tyler. Thank you for watching, and please take the time to visit the animal shelter And if you have any questions or concerns, you can call my office or you can call the office of the animal shelter. Thank you again for watching.